So now we are going through the first chapter of Uttara Tantra Shastra, and this first chapter includes the first 3 points, first 3 Vajra points: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So yesterday we briefly went through the first Vajra point, that is Buddha, and now we come to the second Vajra point, which is Dharma. So again, it's a kind of presented a little bit the same way. First, an homage to the Dharma, then the 6 or the 8 kind of points or the qualities or the descriptions of the Dharma is stated, and then it's a little bit explained. So it's very short, like in the Buddha also. The first, the homage. The Dharma is neither nor existent, non-existent, neither non-existent nor existent. It's not both existent and non-existent, nor is it other than existent and non-existent. It is inaccessible to such investigation and cannot be defined. It is self-aware and peace. The Dharma is without defilement, holding the brilliant light rays, the light rays of primordial wisdom. It fully defeats attachment, aversion, and dull indifference with regard to all objects of perception. I bow down to this son of sacred Dharma. So, Dharma is 2 things. One is what we usually say, the cessation and the path. What cessation means is that the experience of a fully enlightened being, or the experience of that the way how things really are. That's called cessation, because when that experience is experienced, then you learn how to, you have not learned, you have experienced the cessation of all the sufferings and pain and problems. So therefore, it's called cessation. So this cessation, or the Dharma of cessation, or the experience of an enlightened being, or the Buddha, is not different from Buddha, because this experience makes a Buddha a Buddha. So it's actually not so much different from the Buddha. So therefore it says Dharma is The first thing is, it is something that is beyond our concepts. It's a direct experience of the way things really are. So therefore, it is very difficult to be expressed in our conceptual mind or conceptual words. That's why, it's neither existent, neither non-existent, nor existent. If you say it is everything, the way things are, the way I am, if you say it is not there, that's incorrect. If you say it is there, it's also incorrect. If you say it is not both, neither non-existent nor existent, it's also wrong. If you say it's something other than existent, that is also wrong. If you say it is something other than non-existent, it is also wrong. So therefore, it is because it's a direct experience of the truth, if the way things are, if the way you are. So therefore, any way of explaining it, any way of our mind trying to grasp it, it would be not totally right or not totally true. Buddha talked about emptiness. And he talked about 18 emptinesses. First he said, everything is emptiness in its nature. Then people were thinking, oh, it's all emptiness. Nothing is there, it's emptiness. Then he says, that's totally wrong. It's not emptiness. Then what is it? Well, it is beyond emptiness or non-emptiness. It's something beyond. It's a great emptiness. Then people said, oh yes, it's great emptiness. They again make some... so like that, he tried to explain again and again and again. It went up to 18 times. Still was not very clear. So therefore, it is not something that is, the way, if it is something that we grasp it, then it is in thought. It is a concept. Therefore, Sakya Pandita said, Zimbashona tawa min. If there's any grasping, it's not the right view. So therefore, also because of this, I think, when first Buddha became enlightened in Bodh Gaya, he is supposed to have said that Sab Shi Tutal Vesal Demasi Dutsi Tabu Chuhi Kovini. Profound peace, free from all concepts, luminous or clear light, and uncreated or uncompounded. I found a Dharma which is like like Amrita. He said like that. But he said, to whoever I try to explain, they are not going to understand it. Therefore, I will stay in the forest without speaking. So that was his first, what can you say, expression after he became enlightened. So therefore, that the experience of the true nature, experience of the way things are, experience of the nature of the phenomena, or your mind also, is something that is, it is very difficult to be expressed, and not only expressed in words, but also grasped by our conceptual mind. That's the first kind of quality or the description. So then we might think that if we cannot conceive it with our concepts, with our that means we cannot experience it. We cannot understand it. Then it's not like that. It can be experienced. It can be directly experienced, but experienced, directly, not with concepts. Now, there is a difference between experiencing or understanding conceptually and direct perception, directly experiencing. When we make a conceptual experience, then it's a thought. It's an idea. It's like this. It must be like this. It must be like that. It's a thought. When you directly experience it, it's not a concept. It's a direct experience. It's direct awareness. So therefore, we can be totally directly aware of something without conceptualizing it. Because the moment we conceptualize it, then we kind of define it. We say this is like this, like this, like that. We add things or we distract things. Like a little bit like, just for an example, we look at somebody, we look at something. So I see this, I see that, I see his face, I see this table. We experience that. We can directly experience everything. But now if I say, what did I see? What did I see? Then, if I explain what did I see, it will be very different from the experience of seeing. Because then all my concepts will come, all my thoughts will come, all my I will probably describe some things that is in my, somehow I made up, I might leave lots of things that I actually saw but don't remember. It's very different. So therefore, that experience of totally directly. So therefore, as we discussed yesterday a little bit, also, the meditation, say like, that leads to this experience is learning how to totally, directly, without any, I again forgot that word which I was reminded yesterday. Without any fabrication, without making any alteration, without, just directly, allowing. That's why it is so important, that meditation becomes completely like the natural state of our mind and directly experiencing things and things like that. So therefore, it is not conceptual, but something that can be actually experienced. And when you experience that, then it is, if we are able to experience that, then it is so clear and so, so certain and so that there is no doubt about it. That's the total, the reality, total truth, total, So therefore, it is completely like, this is it, there's no need of anything else, there's no, and nobody can actually explain, but you understand it like this. That's the idea, it's self-aware. That's why it's sometimes called self-aware. And peace, here it is peace. Peace means, after that, then nothing can, you are free from any nothing can shock you, nothing can disturb you, nothing can, dilute you, nothing can, disturb you. So therefore, it's complete peace. Like they say, even if like 1,000 people with all kind of weapons are threatening you, not even one, hair in your body can be, disturbed. So this kind of thing. And then Dharma is without defilement. So when you have that experience, then, we call it either true defilements or true obscurations, the obscuration of the klesha or mind poisons, the obscuration of shizidaba, here it is written as of karma and mental poisons. But anyway, all kind of defilements, all kind of obscurations are fully, wiped out. So therefore, there is no longer any negative emotions, and therefore, because you see it so clearly that you don't have to, you know that you don't have to become, you don't have none of the negative emotions, including you know, confusion arises. And therefore, you know, the subtlest kind of habitual tendencies will also be, you know, freed from. Now this happens a little bit, you know, this is when you become totally enlightened, the Buddha. It is sometimes described, actually it's described in this book also, that how we as a kind of a practitioner, or the, you know, bodhisattvas or the practitioners who experience the true nature of things, is said to be like someone sees the moon. Say like, if it is a night when there is a moon, or there is a, you know, shining moon, and then, but there is lots of cloud. There's lots of cloud. But you can see that there's a part of the cloud where it is, you know, lighter, and it is, you know that there is a moon, and this its moon's light is kind of a little bit coming out, and you say, oh yes, I said the moon, because there's, you know, you can say that. And then, you know, the sky is clear, but it's just the, you know, the first time the moon you see, you know, the moon is very small, you know, a little bit like this. You don't see much of a moon, but slightly, little bit, you can say, I've seen the moon. And then, you know, on the full moon night, the sun is, you know, the night is very dark, and, you know, you are on the beach, and you see the moon completely full, you know, and you can see the moon. So in this way, you know, as we progress, we can, you know, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. So in the same way, all our defilements or our, you know, kind of obscurations can become thinner and thinner, and that's why, you know, we need to go through these 10 bhumis or 11 bhumis and things like that. It is said that when you actually reach the first bhumi, then most of our negative emotions are not there. So therefore we are not in samsaric state. But it takes still sometimes quite a long time to get to the Buddha stage, because we have a lot more to all our habitual tendencies, on our subtle kind of obscurations. So therefore, we talk about 5 stages, 10 bhumis, and things like that. I think that we don't need to explain it now, but that's how things are. So when you fully experience the Dhamma, then, you know, it's free from all these defilements. And holding the brilliant light rays of primordial wisdom, you know, sometimes we describe the same, and, you know, yeji, the mind that we have now, the conceptual mind, you know, the kind of, that is what we call same, you know, the mind that, our conceptual mind with all the grasping. And then that wisdom, that mind, you can say, if you like, you know, that is when that realization comes, when you understand, experience that nature, that mind or that awareness or that is not the same mind that we have now, which is like conceptual. So therefore, that's called some wisdom, And so this is, I think it's important to understand the difference sometimes, because sometimes we call everything mind because it's a concept, it's a awareness. But if you go a little bit, if you want to define, then there is a little bit different, not a little bit, there's lots of difference, because that mind, wisdom mind, is not with concepts, free from concepts, totally experienced directly, and then there's no negative thoughts or confusion or any of those things. It's just direct experience. So that becomes that it's called brilliant light rays of primordial wisdom. That's the Buddha's kind of. These three is the what you call it, the experience, the cessation dharma, the experience of Buddha. Then it fully defeats attachment, aversion, and dull indifference. With regard to all objects of perception, I bow down to the Son of Sacred Dharma. And then it becomes, there are now three things. It's pure, clear, and an antidote. That's the teaching Dharma. Once the Buddha or enlightened being experiences that Dharma of cessation, then that Buddha teaches the way, explains the way to the people in a way that people would understand at that level, at their own level. Because if you try to explain the way the Buddha experiences, it cannot be understood because it's beyond concept and we are too much in concept. So therefore, he has to explain it in a way that is, understandable and conceivable to at the different levels. So therefore, everything Buddha teaches is, as according to the need of the people. That's why, there's no one teaching. There's no just one instruction. There's different instructions, different yanas, different levels, different kind of approaches and things like that, and that's necessary because it has to be understandable, accessible to the people. So therefore, all the teachings of the Buddha are, although they may be different, but they're all good, they're all right, they're all useful because it's according to the needs of different people. They all has to, do three things it fully defeats attachment, aversion, and dull indifference. It will help us to get out of the too much aversion and attachment and indifference. Indifference here can mean also, the mongba. Here, the word used, rabrib. Here, it's the word used is rabrib. Rabrib means like confusion, not very clear, So it's attachment, aversion, and confusion. So that's why the Dhamma is like sun. That's how, and to that I bow down. So, the teaching Dharma and then experience Dharma. These are the two Dhammas, and the teaching Dharma could be different. So then, these 8 kind of qualities, or the 6 qualities, it's kind of given in short. Same nime to me pa tasal yimbi shonichi kongi kongi chotalwa deni zeni jenti chu. Inconceivable, free from the 2 vials, and from thought. So these are the 3, qualities of cessation. Then being pure, clear, and playing the parts of an antidote. This is the teaching Dharma. It is pure, it is clear, and it is an antidote to our negative emotions and negative, So, inconceivable, free from 2 veils, we taught. From thought, this is the, we talked about the mind, which is the conceptual, and then wisdom. So it has wisdom, but it is free from our negative thoughts. So that's why it's not a conceptual thought. So therefore, there is, it's free from negative emotions. So that's. Then it is free from attachment and it's free from attachment and frees from attachment. So it is that Dhamma that is taught is without any attachment or aversion or confusion, and it also frees. It frees anybody who practice it of their attachment, aversion, and confusion. So therefore, this is the Dhamma. The teaching Dhamma is of two truths, absolute and relative, truth, absolute truth and relative truth. And then freedom from attachment as fruit and means consists of the truths of cessation and path. So, we already talked about this. The whole Dhamma can be of 2 things. One is the Dhamma of cessation, and one is path. And the cessation has these 3 qualities, and then the path has these 3 qualities, as we have already explained. So according to this, should also be known by means of 3 qualities each. Then a little bit more clarification. Not Tamman Shirton, German Shir, Poppy Chenshir, Samenya, Shenye Nime Tomete, Tazos and Nigino. Not being the object of conceptual investigation, being inexpressible, and only to be known by noble ones, the Dhamma is inconceivable. Sind is peace. It's free from the two vials and free from thought. In its three aspects of purity and so on, it is similar to the sun. Here it is noble ones. When we talk about noble ones or pakpa, is the Sanskrit word is Arya. There are two kinds of Aryas. You must understand this, because if you study and you find Arya, there can be two. One is the Aryan race, this Indian race of Aryas. Some Europeans also say they are Aryans. No, that is Arya race. And then another Arya, which many times used in Buddhist text, that is not that Aryan race. It is this anybody who is freed from the samsaric state of mind. They are called Arya. That is the Aryan kind of, what you can say, Arya liberation, stage of liberation. Say like Arhat is an Arya, Bodhisattvas of, first Bhumi and onwards is Arya. Of course, Buddha is Arya, and things like that. That's, if one is still in the kind of samsaric state of being, then it's not Arya. If one is gone beyond that, then it's called Arya. And this Arya is sometimes translated as the noble ones in English. But sometimes they use the noble ones for other things also, so it has to be a little bit complicated. So I think I'll stop here, and then I'll talk with my people who organize my Zoom and all kind of people, and then see when I can do this, what we discussed with Lama Rinchen and others about teaching these texts slowly and step by step, so that you can also have a group here under the guidance of Lama Rinchen, who knows this text much better than me, so she can explain much better, and also in French, and so you will study that, and so that's we will go through this. So I don't try to finish something here; it's not necessary. But meanwhile, if you have some questions regarding this or something else, or a joke, or a story, something that is totally disconnected with Ju Lama, I will be even more happy, I think. Yes?
Yeah, I have a question about, let's say, compassion in action. When if you have someone who really drains your energy or humiliates you, if you experience some humiliation in normal life, and how do you manage to develop compassion, or enough compassion, or do you need to avoid some people, or but sometimes you cannot avoid some people, and it's possible. They can. Some people humiliate other people, and if you feel humiliation inside,
feel what?
Humiliation.
Humiliation. Okay. Oh, okay.
Then, how do you switch to compassion, or is it better to avoid the person, or a mixture?
I think it is like this, at our level, we, we try to understand first that we are similar, everybody is similar. We want people to be nice and kind and respectful and compassionate and things like that. And we want nice things. We don't want problem, difficulties, suffering, and things like that. So I'm like that. So I understand more or less. You are also like that, and he's also like that, and she's also like that. Yeah. So therefore, using that as the first kind of ground, understanding. So I try to be, try to be nice and kind, and try to be a little bit beneficial and helpful to anybody. That should be the case. Yeah. Now, in the past, in the life, of course, we will meet lots of nice person, lots of kind person, lots of very good people. We will also come across people who want our help, who is seeking our help, and also some kindness or compassion or things. So we try to do whatever we can. It's not that we can completely fulfill their expectations. Most of the time we cannot fulfill all their expectations. Sometimes we can help a little bit, sometimes we cannot help, like that. Yeah. Sometimes there's a situation that we cannot do anything, so we just, ignore it, go other way. Yeah. And then we also meet people who are not so nice, a little bit, not kind or not nice, or even sometimes even if we try to help, they do the opposite and things like that. And it is possible that some people try to humiliate us, But I feel that how much humiliated I become, I feel, is a little bit up to me, I think, If somebody, sometimes somebody does something or says something, or, somebody feels, or she, herself or himself is in a certain situation that, maybe he or she is not intentionally humiliating me, but I feel humiliated also sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they really want to humiliate me, yeah. So, if I can get humiliated, or I can get a little bit hurt, or I can get in many different ways, I feel that how I get humiliated is more up to me. If somebody can say something, oh, he's, what is this? Are you a kind of are you a woman with a skirt? What kind of when you are wearing a skirt, yeah? Or something like that. I mean, it can be even worse. I can feel very bad, But I can say that, okay, let him say whatever he wants, If I'm wearing a very strange dress, you know, I'm inviting that, yeah, in a way. So what? They can say whatever they want. I don't need to be hurt, yeah? So if I refuse to be hurt myself, nobody can humiliate me, yeah? They can try to harm me, they can try to beat me up, they can try to do something. Then maybe I'll run away if I can. Yeah. Then if I'm able to run away, I can feel I'm so good. I'm a good runner. It's, I think how you take things is a lot to do with how I take things, not what they do. Yeah? Sometimes, even sometimes somebody whom you help, whom you do everything to help and do, you have invested lots of your energy and your services, your time and things like that. But instead of appreciating that, they try to harm you. Things like that happen. So if you see that, yeah, it's not good, it's not right, but this person, they are not in the right kind of state of mind, overpowered by their emotions and negative thoughts and negative. So it's I don't have to be too angry or hurt. I just have to let it be. Yeah. If I can say like that and act in that way, then I don't need to be hurt. No. So I think there are things like that. There are lots of different things that our own attitude, our own way of taking this is, I think, very, very important. And we have to make sure that we don't get too much hurt. Yeah, because that's not useful. That's not good for us. And most of the time, the people who have lots of negative state of mind, negative emotions, are a little bit like, sick, a little bit like psychotic. Yeah. So therefore, when somebody is out of their mind and kind of not normal, then they are not under their control. They will do lots of things that they should not do. But we should try to help them to get out of that. But if we can't do that, at least we should not. We should not you should not feel hurt or want to harm them or things like that. I think this is a way of attitude that we should try to cultivate.
Rimpotché, earlier when you were speaking about that state of self-awareness where nothing can disturb us, complete peace, you said it's without defaults. And you said those defaults, if I did understand well, were of two kinds, karma and mental presence. Is that right?
No, that was, that is slightly different. That is, when we talk about free from defilements. So there are two defilements is usually, Nyamubhidriva and Shizidriva. Nyamubhidriva is the defilement of the negative emotions, defilement of the kleshas. And when you have that, when you understand what you are or what your, the nature of yourself, a little bit like selflessness and things like that, then you have no more, you are kind of freed from the samsaric state of mind. Then another is Shejidripa. That's a little bit more subtle, that there is, lots of still you are kind of free from the negative emotions, but not free from habitual tendencies. So therefore, you have more subtle kind of defilements are there. So there, then also, you can say your karmic things work. You have not totally get rid of all the defilements. Yeah, footprints. So that's more or less it.
Yes, in the text also, in the commentary after you talked about the karma.
Yeah, this is.
Karma and intentions.
Yeah, but it's usually not said like that. Yeah. It doesn't.
Hello.
It doesn't say karma in the commentary. Yes, now who would? There are many people. Okay.
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me?
Cesare, yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a question about the non-conceptual experience.
Uh-huh.
So, does it mean there are no waves or thoughts or movements in awareness at all, or that the waves or thoughts or movements in awareness are recognized to be the same nature as the ocean, so to speak?
Yeah, it's not that it is completely like, what can you say? I think it is said to be no thoughts, means like no conceptual thoughts. But we think that if there is no conceptual thoughts, then it will be kind of very dull, and like we don't have any idea what is going on. But actually they say that when you have no conceptual thoughts, you become very clear. So neither I can explain it to you because I don't have that experience, but it is supposed to be something like that. It's so clear that there is no need of any concepts, because when you make a concept, that's making a kind of making an idea, it must be like this, it should be like this, or things like that. And that's not really like, it's not same as direct perception, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So is it a bit like...
it is supposed to be extremely clear, although not concept. When we say, it's like this, when we say it's like this, I say this is beautiful. That's a concept, no?
Mm-hmm.
But when I actually see it, I see it. It's, there's no need of a concept of beautiful or ugly or how beautiful or, 100% beautiful, 90% beautiful, 80%, or anything of this kind. No, so something a little bit, something like that. I think it's maybe that's why it is not conceptually. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Rinpoche.
Okay, Karma Norbu.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wondered, somebody's showed us a Facebook page that you were doing a Green Tara empowerment tomorrow. Is this correct?
Correct?
Yes?
Yes.
And will it be
Here.
streamed? Yeah.
I don't know. Yes.
Great, okay. And will it be on this
On
same-
this same place.
Donc la question était une question pratique pour savoir s'il y avait bien une initiation de Tara verte.
Marlo?
Donnera demain, et effectivement, et ça sera en Zoom.
Same time.
Same time. 8
Same
o'clock
time?
here. 7 o'clock there.
Great, thank you. And just going on from Cesare's question, struck me.
Don't
We
go
saw-
don't go through it. That's done. I have no answer to that. We will discuss that later. Yes?
Yes. Hello, Rinpoche. This is Malu. Thank you for these teachings. Very precious. And my question is, can you give an advice on how? Yeah, you give many advice, of course, but we are some of us long-time students, and I find samsara has changed. I mean, samsara probably is always samsara. But nowadays, after Corona, and in Holland, for instance, so many things changed in a short time. And
You are in Holland?
yes, I'm in Netherlands. Yes.
Oh, I see.
And
Yes.
then I lose myself sometimes in like films like La La Land. I wanted to ask, have you seen La La Land? It's a musical. It is in Los Angeles and City of Dreams. But the question is more, if we want to purchase dreams, and then we have to renounce also a lot. But the question is how to go on. Is it just step by step staying where we are, or should we put more effort in changing really how we live? Maybe I asked this many times already. I don't know. No. How to follow in the footsteps of the master? Maybe we should ask.
If you want to follow the masters like Buddhist masters, then the most important thing is to change from within. Yeah, to change from within. So, if you bring out your peace of mind, your tranquility, your compassion, the more you can experience that, the more kind of more contented life you can have. That's the idea. Even if you have the samsara is for everybody. What is going on, in the world is everybody. But some people can deal with it more better. Some deal with less kind of tolerance, or less in a less nice way. So the Dharma practice is to transform yourself in a way. If you have less expectation, a little bit less expectation, and if you can, if you know how to deal with the samsaric problems in a little bit more clear way. And then if you, if you can understand, the peace of mind is very important, and how to react with things that's going on, then you will be a little bit, you can have same problems, but you can deal with it much better, no? Mm-hmm. And of course, if you can change everything else, you are most welcome. There's no need that you don't have to. I mean, if you can improve something in your condition, that's better. If you can help others improve a little bit their, physical conditions, that's also better. So it's like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, then we stop here. Liye damje ribanye doni nyebe rana paji shega nanche walam chupa shibi chole roa roa